not, right? You'd just be like, okay, that's a good place to start, right? That's way better than no dollars, right? Okay, so you win the lottery, you win $1 million. And what you decide to do is, you know what, you're not going to quit your job, you're just going to keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to put that in the bank, right? So you put the money into a simple interest account now, if you just walk to the bank with $1 million and go say, hey, I want to deposit $1 million into the bank. If you put that in like a checking account, they're not going to give you anything for it. Like, you're not going to make any money off that money. You have to be willing to promise them you're not going to come back and take it out like right away. So it either needs to go into like a savings account or what's called a CD, a certificate of deposit, where you're promising them you're not going to come back for like a year or 2 years or 3 years. So let's say that we put it into a CD, which means we're promising the bank we're not coming back for it in, let's say, 5 years. And the interest rate that they offer us is, and this is really probably high. I haven't looked at interest rates. Anyone work in banking? No? Sometimes I have someone who works as a teller or something. Okay, so 2.3%. I think that's very high I think that's really high for a CD. But just for this example, let's imagine we're going to get 2.3% back on our money. Okay? So you put the money into a simple interest account at 2.3% for 5 years. So we're not going to touch money for 5 years. We're going to finish college. We're going to get our career started. We're just going to kind of rough it, and then we'll have that money when we're done. All right? Oh, by the way, if we're putting $1 million in the bank, then our lottery, we probably won $2 million. Because they're going to take half your money, right? When you win the lottery, government comes and takes half of it basically for taxes. So we actually won a lot more than $1 million, but that's how much we're putting in. Okay, so here's my question. How much is there? How much is there? In 5 years? Okay. Well, this is a simple interest account, right? So I'm going to use this formula. A equals P e to the RT. And so I need to know, how much did I start with? What was my interest rate as a decimal? And what was the time I was leaving the money in years? So do y'all see how everything's going to get replaced? In E here, I didn't mention what E was, but I was hoping you understood E was that thing on your calculator. So the amount we'll have in there is $1 million. Okay, that's $1 million times E, but E is being raised to the R. What's R for us here? 2.3, but we have to convert it to a decimal, so 0.023 times the time, which would be 5. So you got to make sure you do this on your calculator properly. 5 times this first. Let's do that. Or if you know what, your calculator, I think, is, a lot of yours they're good enough to be able to type that all in. I'm going to do all of this on my calculator right now. And I'm going to put the answer down here. I'm going to leave the million here. Okay, so when I do all that on my calculator, E, where's my damn E key? This should come out to be 1.121873, something like that. E raised to those two numbers multiplied, you should get this. Anyone have an issue with that? By the way, when you do this, you know how I've said let's round? Not on this. On these problems, you need to keep as many decimals as your calculator will let you have, because your answer will be more accurate that way. So do this number times that number. And I'm looking for you to be pretty close. You can be off by a few dollars. It's all right. I'm getting 1,121,873.43, about something like that, which is, we're almost done here. $1,121,873. So how much has our money grown by? 120,000, right? About $120,000 more than we had 5 years ago. So if you take that number, take 121,000 divided by 5. What would that give you? Because we left in there for 5 years. Does everyone understand? It grew. Okay, this is the answer. This is the answer to the question. But it grew by what? 121, 873, something like that, 0.43. That's how much it grew by. And then did you divide that by 5?
Yes.
What'd you get?
It's 24,200.
24,200. Do me a favor, divide that by 12. It's going to be about
2,016.66.
Okay, good enough. So here's basically what you could summarize. By just putting your money in the bank and not touching it, you were making off of that money $24,000 a year off that money, which is about $2,000 a month. By just leaving it in there, not touching it, it was growing by about $2,000 every month. Not bad. In fact, if you would have put it in there and just every month went and pulled $2,000 away from it, then it wouldn't grow, right? But it would keep making you money. So this is basically somebody who's working for you, right? This money is basically working for you, and it's paying you $2,000 a month, right? That's pretty good, right? If you had $1 million. What's really interesting, and we're out of time, is if this was 10 million, you just move zeros over. Just wrap your head around this. If you had $10 million and you were able to put it into an account, you would not make $24,000 a year, you'd make $240,000 a year. And you'd be getting paid $20,000 a month off that money. That's enough to live off of for most people. I think for everyone would be happy with that, right? Just be $240,000 a year, just give it to me, right? That's why, I mean, if you start with a lot of money, right? If that money's coming down from, inheritance and stuff, that money just keeps making money over time. As long as you don't go blow it, right? You don't want to get $1 million and then go spend it on that dream car, right? Okay, everyone. Have a great weekend. Your homework is to work on the review. I will provide answers to the review, but not till next week. Tuesday will be just a little bit more of this and talk about the review. Have a great weekend, everyone. Oh, that fell. Okay. Thank you. Let me turn this off. You as well.